I am Brian Manning, certified lead technician at Ducati Austin.
We'll always put the motorcycle on a lift to aid us in doing our job. It makes it easier. Along with that, it gives us a good visual of the bottom side of the motorcycle as well. PDI generally takes somewhere between 2 and 3 hours. These motorcycles come with a brand new battery and acid pack. Remove the battery bolts from the box. Remove the battery from the box. As you see, this is a Yuasa battery. We feel like this is the best battery that you can put in your motorcycle. It's nice that the manufacturer ships it with a high quality battery. Next box over here is the acid pack itself. This piece actually gets reused as the cap to the battery itself after the acid is in it. This cover gets removed from the battery. And this is an AGM type battery. So this acid pack gets set on top, clicked into place. Sometimes give it a little tap just to get everything working, and you can see the bubbles coming up, meaning that the fluid is going down. All of our batteries go through a 24-hour prep and charge cycle. It's been 24 hours. We've got our fully prepped and ready to go battery. Make sure the cap is on tightly. And then I went ahead and installed the battery bolts and the nuts for when we're ready to put that in. Everything about PDI at our store is the appearance of the motorcycle and how well it functions and how well it does what it's supposed to do. So whenever we're doing anything on these PDIs, the other thing that we're also doing is walking around and visually checking everything over and over and over again to ensure that we do not miss any possible damage from shipment. You can see everything comes pretty well packaged up. Like I said, we don't see a lot of damage. First thing we're going to do is go through and verify proper torque of the front end. Check torque on front brake caliper. Next step is to ensure that the front axle is properly torqued. The only way that you can do that is by first loosening the pinch bolts that hold the axle into the fork levers. Once those are loose, you reset the torque wrench to the proper torque. And that is torqued properly. Now, torque on these pinch bolts is quite easy to do incorrectly. We do not use a torque wrench. When we tighten these, we do it by feel. If you over torque these, you can damage the axle. So get them to where they feel right, and you'll be good to go. So that is the front wheel and brake assembly properly torqued. Then we proceed to the forks. Alright. So that's the majority of the front end, checking torque. From that point, we're going to work our way towards the back side of the motorcycle. Pretty straightforward operation of just checking the chain, retorquing the rear axle, verifying that that is torqued appropriately. We've got the rear wheel loose. I'm going to center the motorcycle a little more on my lift. Grab a stand. So a lot of times when these motorcycles come in, they have quite a bit of unnecessary lubricant on the chain. So this isn't really a part of the Ducati PDI. This is just an extra step that we take. Come in, get your hand all over the chain, and remove whatever unnecessary lube is on there. And then we put on a little bit of our own chain lube, which is a very low fling chain wax. Now you don't get that mad chain spray, but you still have a nice protected, clean chain. Another thing that they want us to do for PDI from Ducati is verify the torque of the rotor bolts. We're going to go ahead and do that with the wheel off the ground. Go ahead and remove the unit from the stand. We'll do a final chain tension inspection once I can put the vehicle back on the side stand. Verify proper torque of all the case cover bolts. Verify proper torque of the belt covers themselves, which on this Scrambler are these really cool aluminum ones. It's just below the max mark. It's exactly where we want it to be. You don't ever want to run it all the way to the top. You can create leaks that way. The rear caliper is a floating caliper design. There is no torque to torque the caliper onto the caliper bracket. Make sure that all of your foot pegs function appropriately, keeping in mind where their proper stops should be. We always verify the oil level in the motorcycles, making sure it's filled appropriately. As you can see, this level is slightly higher than the top mark. Once we start the motorcycle and do a heat cycle on it, we'll verify the oil level again and remove any extra oil if necessary. We want to make sure that the clutch cable looks to be in good shape. It appears to be. Exhaust system is fairly clean. We'll give it a good rub down before we actually start the unit so that nothing gets baked on to the coating of the pipes. You'll always find a little extra grease floating around on these things. We like to go ahead and remove as much of that as possible while still keeping the components lubricated. One very important part of the process is to verify that the engine is properly torqued to the frame, since the engine is a stressed member. Good to go. Good to go. Next thing we check is the swing arm pivot bolts. You always want to check all components that attach the brake system to itself. Verify that all those operate appropriately, which they do. You want to feel good pressure, really not too far off of its natural resting position. You also want to verify that the switch is being activated from the push bolt. Same thing on the other side of the motor. Verify that all the bolts that you can get your hands on are torqued to spec. Along with the chain guard. Verify the torque of all shift linkage components. Go ahead and hit the cam covers. Cam covers feel good. Go ahead and get to the valve covers. Verify the heat shields and the exhaust. Tight. Verify that all of your cables and hoses associated are torqued to spec as well. So we noticed upon inspection of the cables to the rear of the motorcycle, we have an unplugged component. Well, what this actually is the license plate light on the rear wheel. So all we're going to do is just go ahead and plug that dude back in. Good to go. Make sure that the routing is proper, which it is supported right below the connector. And then we'll verify proper operation. Go ahead and verify the front fork shields. And for the most part, that is the mechanical inspection.